Most women that struggle with body image, or they feel fat, or they just don't like their appearance, right? Oftentimes they aren't accepting what is. They're so focused on change, dieting, making over their body, yet the thinking of which they're seeing their lives through, their self-image, their body image, that's not changing. That's not being influenced. But the flip side of that is, how can you change something that you are completely ignoring? How can you overcome a fear if you don't face it head on? So up until a couple years ago, I was deathly afraid to go into the ocean. Now, the truth is, I wasn't afraid of the ocean. I was really just afraid of what I didn't know and what I couldn't see. And so every single time I got into the ocean, I stepped foot in there, I would jump around because a piece of seaweed or something would touch my feet. But I wasn't cognitively saying, oh, Leanne, it's just a piece of seaweed, you have nothing to fear. I was still experiencing that fear, and so for the longest time, I just wouldn't go in the ocean. Well, a friend of mine was determined to help me overcome my fear of the ocean. And so we went inside, and every time that I would jump, he realized that it was actually just the seaweed that I was afraid of and what I didn't know. So what he proceeded to do is we picked up the seaweed, we looked at it, we touched it, and I realized that it was nothing to actually be afraid of, that it wasn't a shark or a man-eating gorilla in the water, that it was just seaweed. But until I actually faced that fear head on, picked it up, and got in the ocean, only then could I really reconcile what I was afraid of. And so many women are walking around ignoring their reflection in the mirror. They're hating it and shaming it and blaming it, but they're not even looking at it. Or when they do look at it, they're looking for everything that they hate, everything that they think is ugly, everything that they want to change. So in turn, they get better and better at hating their reflection and never really accepting their reflection. And so when this is the case, one of the experiments that I invite my clients to do is I invite them to look in the mirror every single day and not tell themselves stories of, oh, you're beautiful, and not try to change what's in the mirror. I simply want them to accept it. I simply want them to look in the mirror and see what is there. Because the truth is, it's their seaweed. Their reflection is what it is right now. Absolutely, I want women to go change their body if it would make them happier, and get healthier, and influence how they look, move, and feel if it will contribute to their lives. But in the meantime, your reflection is what it is, and it's not changing. And so it would serve you to simply work on accepting what is, because that is the truth. Whatever is staring you in the mirror right now, it's there. We can't change it right this second. It is what it is. And so the truth is, the data is, that is your reflection. The drama is, or what we add to it, or the story that we say about it, is whatever we say about it. That is where our own bitchery lives, right? So if we remove the drama and we just focus on the data, it becomes a matter of, okay, reflection, there you are. And most women are completely skipping over this step. They're not even looking at themselves in the mirror. They're not even acknowledging that they have a body. They're not touching themselves. They're not looking at the places that they are wishing away. And so in turn, they're completely skipping over this whole acceptance piece of the puzzle. So again, I'll go into the ins and outs of what this experiment looks like, but to bottom line it, all I want you to do is practice looking at the mirror and just letting it be there. You don't have to think about liking it or even loving it, right? All I want you to do is practice looking at the mirror and simply accepting that it is there, accepting what is right now. As you go change it, then you can go influence it, then you can go change it, but accepting what it is right now. And so one of the phrases or the statements or the affirmations or whatever you want to call it that I give my clients is, mirror, mirror, there you are. And just sit and just look yourself in the eye, look your body in the mirror, and just say, mirror, mirror, there you are. Because that is the truth. That's the truth without the drama, without the story that we attach to it. All that really is true is that is your reflection. Mirror, mirror, there you are. Sounds so simple. It might even sound silly to some people, But if you really want to change your relationship with your body and you want to change your relationship with the mirror, you've got to start looking at it. You've got to start metaphorically touching the seaweed and getting in the ocean if you want to change your relationship with that reflection. Because yeah, you can go change your body, but in the meantime, it is what it is right now. And you can shame it, you can blame it, you can wish it away, but it doesn't change the fact of what is. So mirror, mirror, there you are. Notice I didn't add anything. I didn't add you're fat, you're ugly, you have rolls hanging over your jeans. Just mirror, mirror, there you are. If you want to get really comfortable with your body and start accepting it, you have to start looking at it. You have to start facing your fear. So I'm gonna lay out for you exactly how to do that, but I just wanted to leave you with those thoughts before you dive into the actual experiment. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. So your big fat experiment, what would happen if you took yourself on an experiment where you simply learn to know and find your way towards like and trust, but get to know your body truly naked in the mirror and really face once and for all what you've been bashing or what you've been, shaming or blaming or what you may have been outright avoiding looking at in the mirror, the metaphorical and literal mirror. So your big fat experiment, if this resonates with you and you feel like this is something that you've never done, you've never taken yourself through, and it would serve you to just try this on, then here's what it would entail. First off, I want you to watch the 3 short videos that I have provided for you. It'll set the tone, it'll set the stage, and help everything make sense. Then you would go and start your own big fat experiment. And what that would entail is the following. First, it's just a matter of simply committing to starting the process, beginning the first layer of getting right with your body. And what I've found for most women, it really means getting right with your fat. That's the part that most women are shaming and or even downright ignoring, right? So simply commit to looking at yourself in the mirror naked every single day. And it might sound a little bit weird or a little bit out of the ordinary, but it is a really powerful part of the experiment, is just simply committing to looking at yourself in the mirror naked every single day. Okay. So as silly as it may sound, the next layer of this is to start touching your fat, playing with your fat, start to own your body as it is right now, because whether you're going to change it or not, your body is right now the way it is. Okay. And so learning to own what it is. And on a scientific level, right, self-acceptance aside, fat is a very potent metabolic substance, okay? Touching it lets your nervous system and your sensory system know that it's alive and sending blood and oxygen to the muscles that are a bit above it, beneath it, all of that, right? And this will in turn help you start working with your body, with your fat, rather than against it. And obviously this subject goes way beyond the scope of this video and the science behind it. But I shared an article with you that kind of gives you an understanding or gets that process going so that you can understand what I'm talking about. This isn't just a matter of, the mindset around your body. This is the science and the brain set as well, okay? Now, if you do want to take it a step further and step into a new conversation, or if there's some sort of affirmation that you are looking to create while you're looking in the mirror, I invite my clients to simply look at themselves and say, mirror, mirror, there you are. Because that's all that is true, right? If you take away the drama, if you take away the story or the bitchery that you're adding to whatever you're saying about your reflection, all that's left is you. There you are. You have fat. It doesn't mean that you are fat, right? Or that it's a bad thing. There you are. There's your reflection. And that's all that is true. Okay. Now, again, these are layers that you can continue adding to it. But the truth is, the main purpose of this experiment is to start accepting and just being with your body and get to know it, maybe for the first time ever, right? Then, by all means, if you want to influence your body and in turn your reflection, right? By all means, go do it. Go get healthy, go lose the weight, or whatever words you're using to yourself, right? But in the meantime, get to know your own reflection, get to know your fat, get to know your body, because right now, whether you choose to accept it or not, it's there and there you are. And take it from my experience that even if you do go lose weight or air quotes perfect your body, acceptance and self-acceptance doesn't necessarily come alongside with it. In fact, it usually doesn't. And so you might end up getting the reflection that you want, and you still wouldn't have gone through that self-acceptance piece of the puzzle. So this is, regardless of whether you go change your body or not, this is a step that most women skip. And I'm telling you, if you talk to a woman that is comfortable looking at herself naked in the mirror, there is something going on inside of her mind and inside of her brain that is not present in the woman that is hating and shaming her body. Something magical happens when you simply commit to getting right with your body and not hating on it, not shaming it. And again, we're not even talking about falling in love with it. I'm talking about just becoming neutral. Just being able to look at yourself in the mirror naked. There's something really magical and powerful that comes over that. And bonus points if you start talking to your fat and touching your fat and all that, right? But all we want to do is start getting right with it and seeing that fat is just fat, your body is just your body, and it's there right now, however it is, regardless of whether you like it or not. Right? So the mini experiment itself, just bringing it all together, right? All I want you to do is start looking at yourself in the mirror naked. That might feel so uncomfortable to some of you. And if it is, you don't have to force yourself to do this. Start when you're ready. But if it feels uncomfortable to you, I guarantee you probably need this more than you think. Okay? So just simply start being with yourself naked. Start getting to know your body, right? The first component of the know, like, trust factor, right? And then touch your fat, play with your fat, start to own your body as it is right now, and get to know your body again on another new level, right? And whatever it is that you're most afraid of, I told you about mine in the ocean, right? Don't try to change how you feel about it right now. You don't have to work on loving it and all that. Just work on the acceptance piece of the puzzle. Just start accepting that it is there right now, that you're there right now, and it is what it is, right? The goal is to simply start learning to accept it, right? Without the drama or the bitchery that we're saying in relation to whatever it is that is, right? And you can't do that. You can't find that self-acceptance until you actually look at what it is that you're not accepting right now. So if your reflection in the mirror is something that you're currently shaming, blaming, comparing, perfecting, and not accepting and not even looking at, you're not going to be able to step into that self-acceptance piece of the puzzle until you start addressing it. So that is it. Again, if this feels uncomfortable to you, meet yourself where you are. Don't force yourself into anything. But if this feels like something that you know in the back of your mind you need, I invite you to step on into it. So that's it. Can't wait to hear how it goes.